Hello everyone, Peter Newman with you. In AHRI Insight this week, we're talking about do you need a knockdown prior to sowing. Recently I gave a presentation to a group of high rainfall growers in Western Australia who hadn't had a decent knockdown in 3 years, and they were asking the question, is this a problem and what do we do about it? The title of my presentation was No Knockdown, No Worries, If. So what are some of the ifs? We'll get to that in a moment. I should point out that some of what I'll say is probably a little bit of my opinion and experience and might not reflect the opinion of everybody in AHRI and Weedsmart, but it's what I've learned over the years. But there is some science in this AHRI Insight. It was the research group of Chris Preston, Sam Kleeman and Gurjeet Gill from the University of Adelaide. They've done some time of sowing trials in some high rainfall areas of South Australia over the years, and they have come to the conclusion that farmers shouldn't wait for a knockdown. They really should early sow and use a robust pre-emergent herbicide package. Why? Well, they found that where they delayed sowing, the crop was growing in colder conditions and was less able to compete with the weeds in the crop. So while the later sowing got an extra knockdown, it set the same amount of seed pretty much as the earlier sowing. So there's no benefit to delay sowing in terms of the long-term seed bank. Also, in most cases, that earlier sowing yielded a lot more. So we know that there's clear benefits of early sowing, but can we get away with it? Can we keep farming without a knockdown? Well, I believe that we can. The package is something like a robust pre-emergent herbicide mix. And when I say mix, it is important to mix those two herbicides. And one of the things I said in the presentation was, why not spend the money you would have spent on a knockdown on a mixing partner to mix two pre-ems together? So trifluralin or trialate plus Sakura or Boxer Gold, something like that in a cereal crop. So that's number one, robust pre-em. Number two, competitive crop. If we're sowing early, we know there may be some weeds in the crop. We need the crop to compete with those weeds. We know that the early sowing and the warmer conditions does help with crop competition, but all the other crop competition factors are important too. Number three, get a knockdown at the end of seeding. If you didn't get at the end of the season, if you didn't get one at the beginning of the season, try and get one at the end. And what I'm talking about there is crop topping, cutting hay, those sorts of things where it's registered and appropriate. And fourth, of course, harvest weed seed control, something we talk a lot about. If we have escapes, can we capture as many of them as possible? So no knockdown, no worries. Sure, if you have a farming system that's just uncompetitive crops, maybe relying on a cheap pre-em just like trifluralin, a knockdown's going to be really important. If you have a robust pre-em, a competitive crop, you're stopping seed set and using harvest weed seed control, I really believe that we can continue to farm without a knockdown every single year. Sure, we'd love a knockdown when we can get it, but if the rains don't come, really those early sowing benefits I think are too big to throw away for the sake of a knockdown. So for more information, take a look at AHRI Insight.